Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for...
No.
Hey,
Man, let's run that back again. That shit's hot. Let's go, baby.
we're back again. Back again to do it for a special edition with Pimp Slap. And why don't you go ahead and then introduce the other guests?
Absolutely. Here we go. The one, the only, my bro here, winning that Pub Sports Radio contest not too long back. The guy's been jamming along in the UFC as long as I can remember. Goes to a ton of live events as well. He's going to be brought in as our expert here today to talk a little bit about the UFC. Everyone says they can't get enough UFC action. And here we are, Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern, getting ready to break down this fight tonight. UFC Fight Night, San Gutierrez. Here's our guy, J-Man. What's going on, Jeff?
What's going on, guys? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah.
Looking forward to this card, even though it's a little lackluster.
Yeah, I think we could find some spots. I mean, I said that on my show on Thursday there. It's just one of the worst cards, second last of the year. It's really a filler spot.
Yep.
But, you know, they're putting in some talent late, so I think we can find some good spots.
Yeah, anytime. I mean, it was supposed to be a Shanghai fight, so I'm not sure exactly what happened that they recalibrated this thing to Vegas. But, hey, at least it's not a 5 a.m. start for us. We have plenty of time to get our action in and, 11-card fights, so we can be a little more selective and try to really find those opportunities for the props and cash those big tickets.
Hell yeah. Should we just jump?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right,
let's go into
the first fight here or what?
Yeah, I mean, we start off the hop here. Maybe your guys' call here. I'll tee it up, and then let's go around the horn and talk about this one here, right? We got Rayon Amanda, right? Formerly Dos Santos, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm terrible with the pronunciations, Dylan, so make fun of me. But Talita Alencar, the problem child, coming out there on the other side at 4-0-1.
That's it.
She's coming off a draw, right? She was a Contender Series unanimous decision, so everybody agreed it was just a mediocre fight. And that's the way it should be with some of these ladies and the way they go. That was back 2 months ago. On the other side of things here, we've got your girl Rayanne coming in here. She's off a unanimous decision as well. So we've got a draw versus a winner, and this is going to be interesting to start the card off with a ladies fight. They're setting the tone and the tempo. You guys know my feeling when it comes to these things, but Dylan, go ahead. Why don't you give us a start here? Tell us what you think.
Well, I think, I don't know, there very well could be a finish. I mean, these girls both suck. If one of them gets caught by a submission, it's going to be over pretty quick here. And who's going to get caught? Probably Rayan Santos, because Talita Alencar is purely a grappler and nothing else. So if it goes to decision, I'd take Rayan here. But it's ultimately going to be a pass for me on fight.
Yeah, this one doesn't scream the up and coming opportunity you want to start your card off with here, Jeff. But you have any looks or any thoughts on this one here? Two ladies squaring off. I don't know.
I'm same. I'm not. I don't think I'm going to make a play on this one. I guess if I was going to do anything, I would probably jump with Alencar. Just again, as Dylan had said, she's more of a grappler. You want to get crazy with it, maybe Alencar by decision. But again, I'm going to pass on this one.
Yeah, when we see a lot of these ladies fights, we know that my overall feeling on this thing is that they lack the power to finish each other off. But when we look at the odds here, we've got the over on the rounds, over 2.5 at -195. Alencar's a nice little dog there, a little +125 dog out there.
I think it actually shifted to +115 this morning, so it's moving towards her.
Yeah.
And I'm looking here and I see if you guys are thinking about the decision, then if you'd like Alencar and you like a decision, that's a little +250 spot there. That might be a little opportunity to make some cash if you're going to go the distance with this thing here. Or if you just go with the overall over, the over being as juicy as it is, I think that's absolutely a spot to go for. Fight goes the distance. To go the distance is -165. You know what? I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say, fuck it. I'm going to take this. I'm going to make some notes as we talk here because I do think there's the opportunity for Alencar to get the sub.
Yeah, I mean,
but the decision at +250 sounds really nice. If you're looking at her to win by sub, it's +500. I think that +250's got my name written all over it. Why not start this fight off with the ladies' fight that goes the distance and the dog ends up coming through and picking up the victory? That sounds like the UFC. I know. Let's talk about this next one here. We've got. Oh, gee.
Let's go. I'll let you run the names.
Tatsuro Tiara versus Carlos Hernandez. And here we go. We got Tattoo versus Hernandez coming out here. You know, Tattoo looking at a nice little 14-0, knocking everybody around. You know, decision, submission with the armbar, submission with another armbar. Seems to be an armbar specialist on a Tattoo. And then on the other side of things, you got Carlos Hernandez coming up with a win 5 months ago. It was a decision. Guy likes to see the judges. Got choked out the fight before that, and a decision as well. So we've got from Illinois, the United States of America, with Carlos Hernandez, a guy that goes the distance versus, Tattoo from Japan that likes to give everybody the armbar at 23 years old, 10 months. What do you guys think here? Let's start with Jeff on this one. Jeff, give us a look here. Give us something we can make some cash on.
I'll tell you, this one's priced way too. I think the favorite Tattoo is going to win. I guess if I was going to make a play on that, and again, I'm staying off of this one just because the price of it. But I would say Tattoo wins by submission. I guess I didn't look at the odds on that one. You have those in front of you?
I do, yeah. So Tattoo, submission, even money spot there. That sounds like an opportunity right there, boys and girls. Even money spot. I like that we're calling him Tattoo. Dylan, what do you think about this one?
I was tempted to take a shot at the dog as this went crazy. He opened up at minus 450, and now he's up to minus 600. And on the other side, Carlos is plus 450 now. We saw him in his last fight, get rocked a little bit. Tatsuro Taira did. And, I think this guy has a chance here. So I'm probably going to take a big dog shot on Carlos Hernandez.
Yeah, it seems like a well-rounded fighter, certainly capable of getting it done. I just don't like when somebody goes to the judges all the time. It seems like those are less the guys I want to get involved with.
Oh, he could win anyway. Any way he wants. It was Edgar Cherez kind of rocked him, and then these other guys, CJ Vergara, he just didn't really have an impressive performance up until he did get that sub. Like over who.
Well, we run it back here. We've got a nice little ladies fight coming up here. Stephanie, is it Eager? I struggle with that, but Luana Santos, what a dime piece we have with this one. And boy, I'm smitten. I'm smitten after I see this little image here that we have, and I don't have much more to say about it here. We do have, our girl Stephanie coming off a loss. She just got submitted with the knee bar. She did throw the submission on the rear naked choke prior to that, but certainly a girl that doesn't go the distance out of Switzerland there. And then on the other side here, my goodness, got to just stop looking at the picture. Juliana Miller, she knocks her out. Luana knocks her out in the KO spot there. She subs as well. She's a rounded fighter. And you look at these odds. Let's talk about these odds here before we jump into it. Luana Santos, a minus 148. These are DK numbers that I'm looking at as we speak here. But minus 148 spot for Luana Santos. The over 2.5 rounds is minus 150. So we do have juice on there. And, I'm looking at this thing here. I think it really comes down to just a smoke show versus not here. And I wouldn't say she's a smoke show. She's just past her time versus a smoke show. Dylan, go ahead. Give us a start here.
What do I think about this? Usually I like to take the age tier. You have Stephanie at 35 years old, and then Luana 23. And then also, she's Brazilian. I usually like to take the Brazilians against some of these girls too. So, I don't know. I'm probably going to get to Luana somehow, I think. But I think the best play is maybe fight doesn't go the distance here. Ends by submission, if you can get that. So I think one of them gets subbed. I really do. Or just fight not to go the distance is a nice plus 105.
Yeah, it seems like, as we're looking at these numbers, I don't know how you feel about these spots, but, modest pricing on this thing at minus 148. It's not like it's not stupid pricing where you see some of these, like that last fight there with a minus 500. You lay the juice in these types of spots, or do you try to get creative and find other ways to get it done?
You got to get a little creative too. What else can we do? Fight ends in round 2 or 3 plus 450 or plus 700. And then you'll have both sides fight ends in round 2 or 3. I think they'll make it out of round 1.
Jeff, how about you? What do you think of this fight? First of all, on a scale of 1 to 10, Luana Santos, where does she rank?
Yeah, I throw playing off of last night. I throw a knuckle in there.
Oh,
I actually, I have Santos as one of my locks. I'm going to lay the juice. That is one I do plan on playing pretty heavy. And I actually got it at 155 minus 155 last night. So I actually have a parlay as well with Alan Carr and Santos, and that's both in that being over. Reason I play that is because, as we've talked numerous times, I don't think the chicks have the power to finish each other. I do see a submission, potential for a submission, but I generally two girls fights on the card, take them both and go over in a parlay as well. But yeah, Santos is a lock for me.
I like it. I like that thought there. If you parlay those two together, what kind of odds did you get for it?
Oh, I'd have to look.
I see. You know what? I see the two overs on both those fights at plus 152. Luana Santos over 2.5 is minus 150 on DK. You parlay that with Brianna Dos Santos as well at over 2.5 minus 195, makes it a plus 152 spot. And there's that little bonus bet that I was talking about last night. We might have to slap a little tickle on that thing there. I like that double overs in a parlay. Why not? Take that juice right on and make it a plus money spot.
I actually, so as I'm looking, I got it plus 165. That was last night.
Nice. I like that move. You know what? That's creative and clever. Ordinarily, I would be bitching that this thing's going the distance, but I like the opportunity to put those two together. Why not? Dylan, you like overs in ladies' fights, or you like to take you seem like an under guy in the ladies' fights.
I mean, you got to pick them, really.
Sure,
I mean, this one, I was thinking about, honestly, just getting really greasy and going over 1.5. They're minus 300, but if you put those together, it's a minus 165. But I feel like it's safer because if it happens, it's going to happen late.
Like the late
You'll be
second.
all pissed off that it all looked good until it didn't, and there's a late round 2, round 3 finish.
Like 30 seconds left.
So I like this round 2 spot too at 450, and yeah, either side, just fight ends. Round 2 is plus 450, round 3 is plus 700. So I'm probably going to get there. And maybe Stephanie Egger by sub if we think there's a sub, because I think that's her path to victory, and that's at plus 550. So
I like it. You fellas are thinking outside of the box. That's the way to be creative. Let's talk about this next one, boys. We got. I like that. I'm the name guy here. So we got Steve Garcia, aka Mean Machine. He's out there fighting. We'll say Mel Costa.
there you go. That's what everybody calls him in the MMA world, just Melk Cost.
Melk Coffee. I don't even sure. I mean, do you have to earn a nickname like that? I'm not entirely sure, but Melk is off a decision spot as well, a unanimous decision victory over Austin Lingo. It was a 9-2 Austin Lingo that he came out there and was able to go the distance with just 4 months ago. Flip side of things there with Mean Machine, he threw the old uppercut to the body on Shaylon there, a 39-10 seasoned fighter, and he caught him and knocked him out. Here we go. Previous to that, a knockout against Chase Hooper as well. The number 37 featherweight in the world, Steve Garcia versus Melk Costa at number 70. Is this a mismatch, or is there some opportunity to catch some cash here? You look at Steve Garcia, plus 205. Steve Garcia sneaking seasoned contenders out there with a big plus money spot. And now Mel Costa minus 250. And the rounds are pretty split here. Over 1.5, under 1.5, sitting there at minus 115s on DK there, boys. Dylan, give us a go. What do you think?
Hickams. This one, it was kind of, I'm not going to say easy for me, but I was on Melk last week. Melk Kazale, it is. They booked because I don't think Steve Garcia could make weight. They said he was sick, but now it's getting rescheduled 7 days later. So I'm like, how sick could this guy really be? But they're not going to make him cut weight. This one was going to be at 145. Now it's going to be at 155, and I'm starting to think that favors Steve Garcia. And it's still the same price tag as it was last week, so it's a little fishy to me. I might end up switching and going with the dog and Steve Garcia now.
Yeah, it's interesting comments about the sickness. I did read that in a little pre-fight news there. I always wonder too, you rescheduled it for a week later. What's going on there? If you're sick a week, I guess is enough time for the sickness to get by. But how does the body?
What I heard,
Well, yeah, not to mention you're not training during that
Yeah,
week.
I heard someone say too. Yeah, so like Melchizedek, right? He had to cut weight and get there because he was ready to fight. And then Steve Garcia just called in and said, "Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it." So I mean, Melchizedel's the only one that actually did the weight cuts, and now it's maybe a disadvantage for him. Where Steve was just like, "Nope, sorry, not doing it. We'll just go up to 155."
And where was the fight
Here.
there? Where was that fight a couple of
So,
weeks back there?
I
Maybe
think
it's a
for
couple
him.
months ago now, where the guy came out there. I can't remember exactly who it was. He knocked the dude out in like 20 seconds, and then he was on the card the following week. And I thought to myself, this dude's got to cut weight twice, and everybody was on him that second time too. And I was like, he's got to cut weight twice inside of 2 weeks. I mean, that's a lot of weight to cut for a guy that's been fighting as well. And granted, he didn't get touched up that previous fight, but then what happens in that second fight? He gets his ass kicked. You know, it's too much weight cut out there, Jeff. What do you think about this one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You should never come back that soon. Quick turnarounds, not good.
No, much like
Go
Dylan,
ahead,
I originally had Costa, but I'm leaning the other way now. I'm probably not going to play this. If I do play this one, I'm gonna play it. Fight ends in a KO. If I had to get specific with it, I'd say a second round KO.
I like that look. I like that look. I was thinking knockout as well.
Yeah,
Costa,
I don't mind that.
You got the weight
Don't mind
issues
that
we
at
were
all.
just
I'll
the
write
weight
that
issues
down
we
here.
were just discussing,
Round
and then
2 ends.
Yeah, I like it. I like a knockout of this one here.
Yeah,
got me thinking at first.
I could
I
see
was
a
thinking
finish here.
this is an easy spot for me to take the favorite by knockout at plus 140, but you know that double weight cut definitely weighs on me a little bit there. We'll see how I end up with that fight when it comes down to it. All right, well, let's keep it rolling.
Steve Garcia is huge too.
yeah.
You got to earn the name Mean Machine, and he definitely looks like a badass. And like I said, those knockouts that he's got, double knockouts as well. I don't think he's going to come in here a sleeper. He is that number 38. Every time I see a number 38, that's the dog against a number 71, the higher ranked guy. Is this just something to pad his stats, or is it really an opportunity for that, number 71 to take that?
I think they're just really like, I don't think the UFC knows either. They're just putting them up against each other so that they can find out themselves who's supposed to be in that spot.
And not to mention they're trying to fill a shit card.
Yeah, that too.
Well, we have in this next fight, we have Hyun Sung Park versus Shannon Ross here. Peace of Mind versus the Turkish Delight. Peace of Mind coming into this thing, number 49 flyweight in the world, on a 8-game winning streak here, 8-fight winning streak, fought 9 months and 4 weeks ago, pulled the old submission with the rear naked choke. First fight here in the past 10 months. On the other side of things, we've got Shannon Ross taking it every time he gets an opportunity. He got knocked out 4 months ago. He got knocked out 9 months ago. He got knocked out in the Contender Series a year ago as well. Shannon Ross likes to put his back on the mat. And if you look at the numbers kind of correlate, right? We see that Park sitting out there as a huge favorite at minus 600. Shannon Ross plus 440. Jeff, I know you're not scared of taking the biggest dog on the card.
That's one of my favorite things to do.
How do you feel here about this fight, Jeff? Kick us off.
I'm probably going to take a taste on the dog. Nothing crazy, but I like this one inside the distance. That's I guess that's what I'm leaning towards. It's hard to say if it's going to be a submission or a KO, in my opinion. But Park does like to finish. I personally wouldn't lay 600-700. So if I do play this one, I'll take a taste on the dog, and then, like I said, inside the distance. I don't see the odds on that one though. You have them in front of you?
It's pretty juicy here. It looks like Park. This is DK numbers. So if I was going to go props, I think FanDuel's probably the better book to have pulled up for the props.
Oh yeah, biggest favorite on the card.
Yeah, it's looking at minus 330. Let me pull up FanDuel as we're talking about this thing here, because
so to play off of that, Dylan, I generally
I'm way higher than that.
I generally do take the biggest. Well, I fade the biggest favorite. I take the biggest dog on the card. I actually won was it plus 560 last night on the one championship. Biggest dog on the card. Whooped him up second round.
I like it.
Nice.
I like it. Will this fight go the distance?
Yeah, no, it's always a good spot to take.
Yeah, especially if it's minus 600-700. Who the hell's paying that?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I'd do the under 1.5 at minus 185. Maybe try to parlay that, because I think it happens.
What was the inside the distance there, Mike?
I don't like Shannon Ross very much at all.
I see minus 330. And And then I look over here, though. I mean, if minus 330 might be a value here. I guess that was based on Park pulling off the inside the distance move there. FanDuel's got the fight to go the distance no at minus 750. So this thing's just chalky as fuck. You know,
Stay right off of that one.
You know, at the end of the day, we'll punt this one. We'll move on. We'll talk about this next fight, though. We do have one coming up here with Kenan Song at 21-7, the number 52 welterweight, going out there against Kevin Jousset, number 81 welterweight in the world. Interesting spot here. Kenan Song, I love when they kind of get the regional battles and they try to keep them together. So unfortunately, this one moves back to Vegas, but the assassin was ready to play and ready to fight out there in Korea land there. But nonetheless, decision against Rolando Bedoya. 14-2 Rolando Bedoya. So that was kind of the anointing of the number 52 placement for Kenan Song. And then on the other side of things here, you look, submission just 2 months ago, a submission against a 10-3 fighter for Air Jousset. I'm not sure. Kit Campbell, he knocked his ass out 6 months ago. And this is really the second fight now. We had the debutant, we had the debut out of Air, and now we're sitting here 6'2", a slight 2-inch height advantage. We got the one guy coming out of the Tiger Muay Thai. Everybody knows how I feel about Muay Thai fighters. On the other side of things, we got City Kickboxing, and interesting little battle here. It looks like, is this the opportunity for a 9-2 fighter to really make some way in his second fight in the UFC, boys? Dylan, give us a start.
I mean, that's what they would like, City Kickboxing is really popular. They tried to promote this guy on the last pay-per-view with Israel Adesanya and Dan Hooker. All the boys were there, Jimmy Crute and everybody, and then Kevin Jousset's like, what are you doing here? I don't know. I don't like him at all. He's very stiff. And then these guys always make up lies over there too. They did it with Blood Diamond. They're like, oh, look at our boy. He's really good. He's whooping our asses in the gym. And I'm like, no, he's not. And then they're doing the same thing with Kevin Jousset. It's like, yeah, he's really good. He's knocking around Israel in the gym. He fucking beat up Dan Hooker. Like, no, he didn't. I'm not hearing any of it. They're just trying to, I get it. They're trying to hype up their guy and all that, but I'm not going to hear that trick from them again. I got to take the dog here.
A little Kenan Song
at plus 140. I got it earlier.
I like it. I like that.
Yeah, he showed good striking against Ian Gary. He's got good enough power. And like I said, this guy just keeps his hands down and his chin out there. So
we do see significant line movement too. I mean, if you got plus 140, now we're seeing plus 124. Jeff, dog, favorite?
I am on the dog as well. I feel the same way as Dylan. I think Jousset is I think he's stiff. I like that he's taller. I like the reach advantage. I think he's only got 1 or 2 KOs, but I think he's gonna get beat up today. I think it's probably gonna go decision too. You have what's Song by decision? You got that pulled up?
I will look. We're talking.
Get it here.
Song by decision plus 320.
Song by decision.
Yeah, the dog by decision. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So I was thinking either we see.
Yeah, it's moved right down. I got.
What do you got?
Yeah, it moved right down, like plus 120 now. Just another 5 points, but I've just watched this line drop all week.
I was just gonna say I just see it at plus 120 on my other book here.
It's interesting too, because when we see the line movement and in the fashion that it does when it comes to the UFC, it's like it's such a specialty sport or a niche type sport that when that line moves, you want to certainly keep your eyes on that thing. And if they're making that dog a lesser dog in this case here, there's definitely money coming in on Song to get the job done. I'm gonna go the other direction though. I'm gonna go with Jousset there to knock out Song. I think it's an opportunity at plus 225. I think he's a favorite for a reason. I know the public loves the steam on some of these guys. Now, Song could very easily come out there, either knock him out or end up winning it by decision as well. A double shot wouldn't scare me either if I was in that. If you're looking at Song to win by KO or decision is a plus 130 spot as well. So you just think he's going to end up pulling it out and getting it done. Nice little plus money spot out there. I would rather go with the plus 125 to win than I would rather go in that specialty prop. But That should be an interesting fight. That should be I'm going to go with the knockout. I think there's going to be violence on this card tonight. I think when, I was breaking it down and I was looking at this thing overall, my general assessment saw a bunch of knockouts, a bunch of finishes, and not very many decisions. But, let's talk about what's on deck here with this next fight. We've got, butchering these names, Andre Muniz versus Jung Young Park, 17-5. Jung Young Park, number 24 middleweight. Worldwide ranking versus the number 18, good old lucky number 18, and Andre Muniz, 23-6. Andre, of course, coming into this fight off of back-to-back losses, got knocked out by Paul Craig 4 months ago. That's one of Jeff's favorite fighters. Then 9 months ago,
Paul Craig.
The rear naked choked by Brandon Allen as well. And before that, a Uriah Hall unanimous decision went the distance with one of Dylan's favorite guys. I know, Uriah Hall. Then on the other side of things here, John Young Park, the Iron Turtle is what they call him around the gym. Albert Duriez, submission, comes off another submission as well. The guy is a submission artist, has 3 straight submission victories out there. Fighting out of Seoul, South Korea, the Korean top team going out there against Andre Muniz. Dylan, take it away. What do you think about this one?
I think this is one of the better fights, honestly, on the card. Probably, besides the main event, I think the one I'm looking forward to the most. I like Jun Young Park. He's always been one of my favorites. I like turtles. He's got a cool nickname, the Iron Turtle. But, that's not going to be enough to get me there as a favorite. And this one jumped again. He's minus 130. And everybody's like, oh, get some of him at minus 130. Now it's all the way up, way too high. And then Andre Muniz is just being, it was plus 100. Now it's 125. Now 145. And this is his biggest step up in competition, Jun Young Park. I mean, he hasn't faced anybody like Andre Muniz, Eric Anders, Joseph Holmes, Dennis Tululin, probably the worst guy. And then Albert Duraev just death gassed. And, when he faced Gregory Rodriguez, knocked out, a bigger guy. And Andre Muniz, I think he can survive here. I don't know if Jun Young Park's the biggest guy for the KO. People question his chin, but I'm going to be on the dog here. And Andre Muniz, I just think it's a spot where people forgot who he is. He lost a high-level competition. And then maybe the Paul Craig one doesn't really, fade too well. But, yeah, I'm going to be on Andre Muniz. Give him one last shot. I don't think done yet.
Jeff, what do you think about this one here?
I'm up in the air. I personally like Park. I don't know if I'm going to play this one. I was looking potentially at the fight ending by a submission just because they're both really great at submissions. Then I started thinking, well, they got submission defense too, so maybe the over's the play. But ultimately, if I was to lean one way, I would take Park, but I'm probably going to stay off of this one.
Yeah, I was thinking, when I see these, kind of like to go the opposite direction. When you see a bunch of guys that are submission artists, what makes the least sense? A knockout. And yeah, you're right. They've got that submission defense. The knockout in this spot here, I wrote it down. Park knockout plus 215 spot. Something that I'm going to keep my eyes on, because I think in terms of, you're right on about that submission defense when they can go out there, they kind of can battle each other and kind of square it up there. But they're not going to want to go to the ground because it's going to give whichever guy gets on top is going to have the advantage. So they're going to I think they're going to try to keep it standing. And if that's the case,
usually 2 grapples would
then either, when we see that time again,
each other.
Grappling guys end up staying standing, and it either goes the distance or somebody catches them. More often than not, it goes the distance. So I kind of like that look on the over there too, Jeff. But I think that'll be a fight to say the least. So let's keep it rolling, boys. Here we're getting down to the main events here, if I'm not mistaken, and we've got Nasrat Hakparas. I say that right there. Dylan versus Jamie Mularkey. Mularkey, aka Full of Shit.
That you pronounced that wrong. Jamie Mularkey is actually pronounced the human punching bag.
I was going to say Mularkey, aka Full of Shit. But what's interesting about Nasrat, fighting out of Afghanistan by way of Hamburg, Germany here with this guy at 5'10". I got a general simple rule of thumb when it comes to these fighters. You don't fuck with these Middle Eastern guys. They're from the Eastern Bloc or the Middle East. Those guys are fucking literally carved out of stone. And here we go with Nasrat Comes off a Landon Kunos decision, 7-1-1. Has another victory by decision by Makdessi. Just goes to support the cause that these guys are hard mother effers. Took a loss in decision by Bobby Green. Took another loss by Dan Hooker. So what we do see out of Nasrat is a 28-year-old young man out of Afghanistan that he's willing to go the distance. On the other side of things, Malarkey does have that victory against Makdessi in a decision, a unanimous decision. Took a loss to Mohammed Naimov, a knockout loss out there as well. So anytime they get knocked out, I always like to see how do they rebound that next fight. And here we go.
I think Makdessi won that fight, and Makdessi's like 39 years old.
Yeah, that was a little decision. That was probably the judge's robbery, if you will.
Real bad look for Jamie.
But
yeah,
Malarkey
that was
is
a really bad
Australia.
look for Jamie there.
Australia fighters do not fuck around, boys. Jeff, take it away. What do you think about this one?
This is actually one of my locks of the day as well. That I am going to play pretty heavy. I like Nasrat in this one. I do think Malarkey is a punching bag. I see Nasrat as up and coming. I mean, he's ranked 29 now. So I plan on playing him straight up. I got it. Well, I did play him straight up. I got it last night at 190, minus 190. I'm not sure what it's at now. Oh, it's at 190 now as well. So I guess the line hasn't shifted much. If you're looking for a prop to play, maybe Nasrat by decision, but I'm taking him straight up. I'm going to take the juice.
He is a decision guy. We've seen a lot of his fights.
Yeah.
4 in a row. Dylan, what do you think about that fight?
Yeah. It's actually what I have written down here too at the end of my notes. Nasrat's a good one-dimensional striker. Maybe Malarkey can take him down. They'll have enough to stay away from him. And then, I wrote down Nasrat, but I just don't really love the price at plus 105, but I guess it's still plus money.
I see Nasrat by decision at plus 120. So definitely want to line shop. There's opportunity out there for the line shopping to get those better numbers. If it's going to go decision, the fight to go the distance is minus 165, and the over 2.5 is at minus 200. So, you know what? I think that's going to be the play for me. It's going to go. I'm going to steal your boy's thunder here, and I'm going to take that Nasrat decision spot. I like that look at plus 120. I like to, I'm not afraid to lay the juice. We'll see at this point of the night what the bank funds look like. This thing starts in like 11 hours, but I think the opportunity to catch a little sneaky decision prop out of Nasrat you can't kill him. You can only piss him off. And by the way he goes to the decision as frequently as he does, I think there's an opportunity there.
The only way that fight's going to end early is if he jumps in the ring with a suicide vest.
There we go.
Yeah, I'd really like to take Nasrat to finish him, and I might sprinkle it very light. Round 2 and 3 on Nasrat's very high. It's plus 1,000 and plus 1,600 for round 3. So I might put a little change on those two, just in case.
I'm going to skip one here. We'll circle back here if I did here. We're looking at this Tim Elliott spot and Sue Mudajiri. Yeah, that guy.
Sue Mudajiri.
Number 13 flyweight opportunity versus the number 10 in Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott, 19, 13, and 1. And then, of course, on the other side, the Tibetan Eagle, number 13 at 16 and 5, coming off an Eagle loss there. He got triangle choked submission by Matt Schnell at 15 and 6. But prior to that, came off of 3 big wins in a row, 2 decisions and a knockout. Tim Elliott takes that Mohammed, got him dropped down, suicide submission, arm triangle choke. Victor gets the decision, gets another decision as well, boys. This one's kind of all over the map. And it's kind of priced that way, in my opinion. When you look at this thing here, you see Tim Elliott's a moderate favorite at minus 162. And I don't know, Sue Mudarji, I can't even, that's terrible. I feel like
you can just call him Sue if you want.
The Tibetan Eagle?
Sue Mudarji.
Tibetan Eagle.
Dylan, what do you think about this fight here? Do you like the Tibetan Eagle or do you like Tim Elliott coming into this one?
This one's fucking tough too, because Tim Elliott, he's a veteran and he's got short notice, so they're moving up to bantam weight for this one too, just because Tim Elliott hard and get some opponents. So it's a really fuckery of a fight. If anything, I think I would have to take the guy with experience in Tim Elliott again, but I ultimately think I'm going to pass on this one because I really don't know. He's on short notice, and it's just all a mess. I'm just going to...
Tim Elliott, short notice fighter at minus 162. The over in the rounds at 2.5 is plus 110 to the over. So the books might think this thing's going to go a little bit on the underside of things. Jeff, what do you think?
I'm leaning Tim Elliott. Again, as Dylan had mentioned, it's tough. It's toss-up. This is going to be probably a pretty good fight. The reason I would lean Tim Elliott, though, is he's 36, 37 years old, so he's on the tail end of his career. He's ranked number 10 right now. I think if he's going to make a shot at anything, to be in the top 5, or not that he's going to win a championship or anything, but I think this is his final push. So I'm leaning Elliott, but again, I'm probably going to stay off of this one.
Yeah, so what I did read about Tim Elliott, though, is in the pre-fight interviews there, he did comment that he's only been in the gym 2 times. It's a short notice fight, as you guys have talked about. He's only been in the gym twice before coming out to Vegas for this actual fight. So it'll be interesting to see. If it goes the distance, that would be a tall order, in my opinion here. The books are saying it's not. It's a plus 140 to go the distance. The over 2.5 is plus 110 as well. Yeah, I think you guys are on the right page there. I don't know about the Tibetan Eagle. He might be flying his ass back home with a big L on the record. So let's keep it rolling, boys. We're going to talk.
Yeah, I can't.
We're going to talk about. Here's a spot for us: Anthony Lionheart Smith versus Khalil Roundtree. Right? We see Lionheart. I'll never forget the time I was hanging out with Jeff there, and we watched Lionheart try to chop the tree down with his legs and broke his fucking leg right in half. Out of Omaha, Nebraska, 35 years old, has the decided, well, I wouldn't say decided, but it's a 3-inch height advantage versus the warhorse, Khalil Roundtree. Khalil Roundtree does nothing but beat dudes up. He knocked out Chris Dukakis 3 months ago. So we got a quick turnaround here for this guy. A year back, he did a split decision against Dustin Jacoby. He knocked out Carl Roberson and Modesta Busakis. This guy's done nothing but beat people up, and he's earned that nickname Warhorse versus Lionheart. Jeff, what do you think about this one?
I actually have this one as another one of my locks. I'm already on Roundtree. I got him at minus 200. I don't know what he's at now. He's still minus 200, or at least on my book. I like Roundtree. I think Smith's on the tail end of his career as well. I'd be surprised if he continues fighting many more at this point, but I actually for a prop I threw out Roundtree KO in the first round. Throw that one out there for you.
I like that.
Ooh, KO1.
KO1.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean he's
what's that look like there? That's a little plus 180 spot there on DK. That's got my attention. I certainly like those shots with the plus money spots here. Dylan, what do you think about this fight?
I don't know. I like violence here, honestly, too. I think somebody gets finished. I was looking at the under 2.5 here. It's minus 275, but parlayable with another one that you like for violence here.
What's the fight to end by
side,
KO?
I really don't know. I don't have that.
Hang on, I'm looking.
Knockouts minus 190. Yeah.
I got minus 200 on my book here.
Yeah, I think somebody gets finished for
Roundtree.
Sure.
Well, I actually got it at
Smith is coming in on short notice too.
Oh, I got last night I got Roundtree at KO in the first round at plus 180. It's plus 175, so it's moving in my favor.
I'll tell you what I could see. I could see Khalil. Now that you mentioned that round one, I could see Khalil Roundtree kind of bitch slapping around Anthony Smith a little bit and then throwing a big fucking kick right to his square face and knocking him right the fuck out. I think that's a great look.
Yeah, I'm just going to refresh because my video is frozen here.
A little laggy, but it's okay. I see you, off that.
I'll be right back.
Off that big Oilers win last night. I don't see the jersey on today. I mean, I would have fucking slept in that thing after that big victory last night. Come on.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Give me 10 seconds.
Do your thing. Do your thing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing fucking Anthony Lionheart Smith getting fucking kicked right in the face too. I mean, I don't like the way the guy fights. He's just slow as fuck. He just grinds everything down. It's like he's the guy that wants to be the more, as they get older, they want to get more technical. They want to show that they understand the sport and want to give the judges a show. And I don't want to Fuck those judges. I want the show. I want to see violence. I want to see him get knocked out in that. I like that first round too. I'm going to take a sprinkle on that too.
Yeah,
Dylan, are you back? Is that better?
He strikes me as the kind of guy that's looking more. I'm going to go into commentating. I want to be around for a little while, then started doing some kind of commentating.
The old Laura Sanko maneuver there, but out of the men's weight.
He's coming in for a bit of a paycheck here. It's short notice, and I just heard like bad things about him on his podcast too, with Bisping. I heard like this one's like super inside because it's from Anthony Smith's wife himself, and she said, you know, sometimes he gets into this funk and he's just sitting around the house, and I got to call his coach and be like, Anthony's doing it again. You got to get him back into the gym. And I'm like, oh, that's so bad. I hate hearing that.
Yeah, I don't think he's got it in him anymore. Lionheart doesn't have any heart anymore.
And that's straight from Anthony Smith's wife. So, you know, there's a reliable source there.
If your wife's calling up your coach, telling him to get your ass to the gym,
he's just sitting around the house and he's starting to do that thing where he's hating himself again and he won't get up. So he's like, you got to come over here and get him up because he's doing that thing again, coach. Like, fuck.
Wow, that's some deep. I'll tell you what, that's going to solidify my knockout in the first round spot there.
And then, like you said, he's working on the announcing too with ESPN. And he's doing the podcast with Bisping. So he's very busy on that.
Yeah, his heart's not into it, literally.
It's true.
Well, the main event is on deck, boys. Here we've got Kung Fu Kid Yadong Song versus Chris Gutierrez El Guapo. Here we go. El Guapo versus the Kung Fu Kid. Kung Fu Kid coming off a knockout there. Knocked out Ricky Simone. 20-3 Ricky Simone. Now the number 7 bantamweight in the world versus the number 17. Coming off of a decision himself with a big victory out there. Boys, we got ourselves a battle in the main event tonight. The Kung Fu Kid El Guapo. Jeff, give us a start on this one. What do you think?
I'm leaning Song on this one again from a young up and coming standpoint. He's ranked number 7. He's looking for a title shot. He's 26 years old.
Yep.
He's I'm taking Song. Ultimately not at minus 365, 375, whatever he's at now. But I'm actually going to take Song in this one, fight to end by KO or Song by KO. What is that? Now KO in the first round is minus 475. Jesus.
I think it'll be later. I mean, Chris Gutierrez has never been to the championship rounds. And, Sedong always carries his power late into those fights. 4 and 5 is never a bad look for Song Yadong here.
You know, from a line perspective, I'm looking here. Song Yadong is wins in round 1, 2, or 3 is plus 150, but 4 or 5 or decision is minus 110. But then the first round KO is minus 450. So that's a fishy numbers there. Probably,
yeah.
Probably run with Song now 1, 2, 3 plus 150.
I like that. I like that little trend.
You a group bet, yeah.
I was kind of thinking the late finish myself in this thing because of that championship fighting aspect of things here. But you know what? One I was looking at is if you look at the point spread. I don't know if you guys. I don't know if they call it point spread or how they get to the actual number here, but. Gutierrez to win by decision plus 500. I don't think that's going to be in the cards here. When you look at Song, Song to win by decision plus 175. Song to win by knockout I see is plus 120. So Song knockout plus 120, Song decision plus 175. To me, it suggests the books are thinking it's either going to be a knockout or a decision spot. But if it's going to go the distance here, you see Chris Gutierrez plus 5.5 at plus 145. As long as he doesn't get blanked and as long as he doesn't take a 10-8 somewhere along the way, that plus 5.5 at plus 145 could get the job done. You think that's in the cards, or you think there's an opportunity that Song gives him a 10-8 somewhere like round 3, he takes a 10-8 and he survives and goes the distance?
I don't think this one sees the cards.
I don't see it seeing the cards either. I guess I think Song's going to KO him, but I do agree these championship fights, they feel each other out the first, maybe second round. And then, I think Song's going to step in at that point. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not playing this one. I would lean Song. I don't like that price line. So I was going to, again, try a try to find a different way. I do like the song 1, 2, or 3. So that's what I say. That was plus 140, 150, something like that. I'll probably take it that way. Yeah, plus 150.
You thinking the
nice
same
way to
thing, Dylan?
group
You think
edit.
this seems, you got any props that you like on this one, particularly, given that it's the main event?
I just found one as we were looking here. They came out with it. It's only on Betway, the Bet Your Way lines, but maybe you can find it some other way. I'm doing Song Yidong. Most takedowns landed. It's plus 125. And I think he knows that Chris Gutierrez might have that weakness, and he's going to land a couple takedowns. And if he does, I think maybe a submission could be a sneaky look. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I am going to take a shot at it for Song Yadong at plus 1,000. Just go the other way. When everybody's screaming KO, I'm going to take a little shot at submission.
I like it.
I'm a big fan myself. I think we're all in alignment when it comes to that kind of stuff, fellas.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, we got through it, boys. Nice little card here. Nice little 11 fight card tonight. Shout out, I see our guy Wine Time. Nasty Nate's out there as well. Mr. Trifecta looking for his blue wrench. I'm not sure where the blue wrench went, my guy, but good luck to you today and all your bets. Boys, why don't you give them a recap? Give them a rundown. Dylan, we'll start with you. What are the plays that you went official with here?
Official plays. Let's go with I'm going to do Carlos Hernandez plus 400 over Tatsuro Taira. I think these prices are high, so we're going to take a shot there. And then Stephanie Egger, Luana Santos, round 2, round 3, plus 450, plus 700. Then Steve Garcia, I think I'm going to do him at plus 200, plus 190. Off that Park, Shannon Ross fight for now. Kanan Song plus 140. Andre Muniz plus 145. I'll probably get to a hack press decision with you guys at plus 105. Passing on that Tim Elliott fight. I still don't have anything official on Khalil Roundtree here. But then, the Song Yadong most takedowns landed in the sub at plus 1,000.
Nice. Plus money galore. Let's go. I hope you have a good cash here. Jeff, give it to us. What do you got? Give us the official plays, and let's keep it rolling.
The officials were they're all the straight up plays. I took Nazareth, Roundtree, and Santos, and those were my three. As I mentioned, I have a couple of other decisions and inside the distance and KOs in round 1 for Roundtree specifically. I had mentioned the Alan Carr Santos over parlay. And then I have one other parlay I put together, which was Nazareth, Santos, and Young Park. There's a 3-spot.
Say that one more time.
Nazareth, Young Park, and Santos.
Trying to write it down. Trying to keep.
Yeah, I have it written here. I haven't played it yet, but so I don't know what the odds are on that one. But the Alan Carr Santos over, like I said, I got it plus 165 last night. Girls fight's over.
Yeah, I'm with you boys there. I went with the Alan Carr spot there. I like that tattoo submission opportunity. I'm going to play that parlay with you. I like that for the over 2.5 rounds for both those ladies fights there. Like I said, a big one for me is that Juicette decision or just Juicette knockout plus 225. I think you boys are on the other side of me on that one. So that doesn't make me feel good. I do like Khalil to round kick that fucker right in the face in the first round too. We'll take a shot at that. And Nazareth to get that decision as well. So we got some plus money opportunities. Should be a fun card tonight, boys. This was fun. Speaking of fun, let's have a good time. Let's have a great Saturday, boys. Nice work, Dylan. Thanks for bringing us in here to talk a little bit.
Hell yeah. Thanks for doing it. I love it. I always love to talk fights more.
You're looking at them all week. You guys get the opportunity now here as we're coming up to a couple hours before the first bout goes off there to take a last look and kind of help everybody find that cash. So, Jeff, what do you got going on? What's cooking? You going to do more of this or what?
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys are down, I'm certainly into it. I was actually just looking at the 1:00 hockey game about to start.
No shit. Did I miss it?
Got the Coyotes and Bruins.
Oh man. Coyotes are running red hot right now, but Boston's off a big upset loss. What do you think? You got a bonus pick for us?
Bruins kick some ass at home. I don't like that minus, what is it, 250, 240. But I don't know. Bruins are 9-2-1 at home. I don't know. They're a home team. Almost wondering if Bruins in regulation would be a play. I don't have the line pulled up, but
run it back like last night with the Oilers regulation spot there. Dylan, you got any looks on that game?
I don't. No, I haven't looked into any sports yet today. I'm going to do that after we jump off here.
Well, I'm going to do the same, boys. So let's go. Let's have fun. Let's have a great Saturday. Thanks again, Dylan, for getting us rocking and rolling. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content.
Yeah.
It's all about the MMA on Saturdays. Let's get that cash, boys.
Hell
all right, boys. Have a good one. Thanks.
Shout out to the chat. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the live sweat and the fight lounge. Good luck to everybody. Peace.